My latest project has been reading through this antique diary. It was written in 1917 by a 17-year-old woman named Anglesey. Luckily, she gives us so much information about herself and her life in the diary, and her family was very prominent in Brooklyn at the time, so it's been possible to find out more about her on the internet and through books. One thing that comes up often when I'm reading entries from her diary is questions about her family life. So if you've been following me, you know that Anx skips school quite often. And for a 17-year-old girl, she doesn't mention her parents as often as people expect. Over time, I've been growing my collection of books that have to do with Brooklyn at the time and people in the diary. And I've actually learned a lot about Anx in books about Buckminster Fuller. If you don't know, Buckminster Fuller is a famous architect and designer. He was way ahead of his time. So there are actually many books written about him and many documentaries. After reading through a little bit of this one, I actually learned about another book, which was written by a man named Alden Hatch. This name won't be familiar to you yet, but it's very familiar to me. Alden Hatch is actually a friend of Bucky and Anx, and he's mentioned in the diary later on in the year. I forgot to mention why Bucky is important to this story. He marries Anx's sister Anne, and in this book, since Alden was friends with them, there is an entire chapter all about the Hewlett family. Here's a photo of the twins with their father, James Monroe. A photo of Rock Hall, which is Anx's family's home. Fun fact, it's actually a museum today. And this is the book where I found the photo of Anx that is closest to the time of the diary. This photo was taken in 1916, which is just a year before. Here is Anx next to an unnamed man. Her sister Anne is right here next to Bucky. And this is Anx's brother Jim next to his soon-to-be fiancée, Marjorie. This book offers a kind of hilarious description of her family, and I'm running low on time, so I'm going to make a part 2. With the pictures and all of the information about her family, this book has been one of the biggest breakthroughs in my research of the diary. Her family dynamic will make much more sense after I read parts of this chapter to you, so definitely look for that video.